Well, I got good news.
Great.
I told you, I think last week, you guys, that I was struggling with this closing this subject to deal up in Chicago.
Right.
But I've really gotten to know the women that are on the team to get this thing closed. And Julie was like, "Oh, I'd love to be on your Zoom call." So I have expressed my displeasure with Pace's transaction coordinators. They cause more problems than I think than they help. So I was talking to my title agent about it, and I mean, the title company does 99% of the work to begin with. So one of these days, she just wanted to join tonight and kind of check it out, but I might spend 15 minutes interviewing her in an upcoming episode. And that way everybody can use Priority Title because they're a national title company. They understand how to do every transaction that we do, and they work with investors.
Well,
That's awesome.
That's great news.
It's awesome, man.
So unless you're doing 10 deals a month, I think if you're doing 10 deals a month, you need to hire a full-time transaction coordinator. But the way that Pace has got it set up now, they just cause more problems than they're worth. So anyway, I thought that was a pretty good solution for my frustration.
It's always good, and you hear Jamil has that title talk on I think it's Tuesdays or it's on Thursdays, like once or twice a month.
Yeah.
And he wants you to reach out to a title escrow officer and basically put them on your team.
Yeah.
So they're asking you to pair up, and the resources that they provide, because as an investor, wholesaler, or whatever exit we're in, the strategy that we're doing, they have endless amount of resources. They could supply you with all sorts of lists, data, like you provide us every month.
Yeah.
Things like that.
The thing that I like about Priority Title is we have a difficult seller, and her attorney is not giving us the documents to prove that we have clear title because it was a tax deed sale. And Priority Title went over and actually sent an abstractor, to the recorder's office to dig up the documentation, and then also sent a abstractor to the clerk, or to the actual courthouse, where the attorney would have had to submit the documents to get it into the court record. Yeah, that's what I mean. Hey, Joe, you faded out, man.
Am I still there?
There you are. Now you're back.
Yeah. Well, that's
But,
nice. Go straight to the source.
Exactly. So, that's just one example of how a good title company that understands investors and the kind of deals that we do that are always going to be dirty, they go the extra mile to get the deal closed. But for some reason, my seller seems to think that, Illinois is different than every other state in the union. No.
No, everybody said the same court process. Everybody registers the same.
Yeah.
Nationwide.
And I've been forced to work with Pace's transaction coordinators in other deals, and every single one of them, the first time they contacted me, is, your title company doesn't know what they're doing, and you need to use our title company. And I'm like, no. No. So
I haven't come across that one yet, so I'll keep that in mind when we're working with one.
Yeah. Well. So, doesn't look. It's only 6:04. Maybe some people are late, but Tyler, how was your week, man?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right. Yeah, I'm driving home, but sorry if it breaks up a little bit. But my week, man, I started calling in Florida, and I've been driving around looking for the turd houses and all that. But my buddy's been doing this in New Jersey for like a year and a half, and he's crushing it. So he saw that I was really into it and I was serious about it. So he sent out a text campaign in Jersey to tired landlords.
Yeah.
And he did it on the Roar app. That's how he did it. That's the platform. And yeah, man, got some leads. And we actually, anybody that was semi-interested or just didn't say hell no, I would call him and talk to him. And we got a guy from the first week that he's closing on tomorrow for an apartment, and he already has a buyer. He has a buyer already that buys in this kind of apartment complex, and it's looking like a juicy one, man. We got the guy to agree to 70. He's owned it for 36 years with the same tenants, and the big the pain point for him was he didn't want to screw his long-term tenants that were paying way under market. So we're like, hey man, we could throw you a little, like maybe an extra $5,000 to get it up to 75 if you need it. And he was like, no, I'll take care of that. I'll pay him, but I just need to talk to him. So he talks to him, and I'm the one that offered the price originally, and he didn't push back. And then my buddy called him today, and the guy's like 80 something years old, and he's tired of being a landlord. So he said, yeah. And my buddy's going in tomorrow and closing, and it's looking like a $30,000 assignment.
Okay, so stop if I'm wrong. You've been in this business for less than 30 days, and you're going to make 30K.
I'm not personally going to make 30K, and I'm not even JVing with him because it was his platform. He closed it. It's my buddy. I've known him for 25 years, so he's probably going to hook me up, but for at least a few grand. But I'm just trying to learn, man. I'm trying to soak in the information. So within a week, yeah, man, my buddy's going there tomorrow with the paper, and he's like, dude, it's going to be a nice juicy hit.
How
So
many?
I wanted to share.
How many units?
Just one, man. Just one apartment. Two bed, one bath. I think it's like 900 square feet. And yeah. And the guy that he called said, I have a brother-in-law who's in his 80s too, and he's trying to get out of it. And he has 10 of these units in here. He's trying to sell them. So it's about to be like a big hit for my buddy. Big time.
2-bedroom, 1 bath for 70K. Oh Lord. I would have bought that. And I would have got a DSCR loan on it, and I would have put a Section 8 tenant in it, but that one's already got one.
Yeah. So he's yeah, man. That was the first week. I mean, I started calling buyers too. Like I pulled a Better Business Bureau general contractors list, and I started calling, man. I called and asked people if they were looking for off-market real estate deals for flipping houses, and if that's something they're interested in for a cash deal, and if I could put them on my list. And I got like 5 different builders. They were like, yeah, send me the list. So trying to do a bunch of things at once.
All right. Is this property in Daytona?
Nope. This is in Jersey. So this is my buddy's got a buyer already, but for Florida properties that I'm looking at too, I wanted to start getting conversations in, trying to find buyers.
You find a 2-bedroom, 1 bath for $70,000 in Florida, you call me first.
All right, man.
I will absolutely make sure you get $5,000. Now, here's what I would do.
Okay.
I would get it under contract for $70,000. I would then go to the seller and do a separate deal outside of escrow to evaluate the property at 100. So I go out and get a DSCR loan for 100, and then at closing, I get the seller gives me a $25,000 credit, or in this case would have been a $30,000 credit. So so I would get a check in cash for $30,000, which your $5,000 would come out of, and then it gives me money to rehab and put a couple nickels in my pocket just for carrying costs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll bring it to my friend of mine. Yeah, because it's just all exciting, man. It's like really fun, really enjoying it. Even it's just it's a lot of fun. So
absolutely is.
Wanted to share the win with you guys. And I had another property too in Florida where I found it was a long-term owner, tired landlord. And then I called and I found out the owner, or I looked at the guy who was 93. I found out he just passed away.
Yeah.
So then I went down the line and called like family. And they were like, yeah, thanks for calling. They were like appreciative of me calling. And I said, you know, if you guys are looking to sell the property, I'm interested in giving you a cash offer if you're open to it. And they're like, yeah, we were going to list it, but just call me back in 2 weeks. And if it's cash, they're like open to a cash offer as well. So it's like, it's, you know, I got some things working and I'm, you know, it's all good though, man. Really, really enjoying, but I wanted to share the wins with you guys.
Did you explain to those sellers that if they don't list it, they're going to save 6% on realtor commission?
Yeah. I told them all. I gave the spiel about the no closing costs and realtor stuff. Yeah. So,
that's probably going to be $10,000-$15,000 they'll put in their pockets.
Yeah, it is. So, yeah, man, that's about it. But if I get that one, if I'm working on that one, I already hit you up. That I have. If I get any interest, I'll just contact you and we can JV it if you want.
Absolutely.
So I don't have any buyers yet. You know what I mean? So,
and that's 10 units.
No, this one is a single family.
Oh,
single family. Yep. This is just a house in Daytona Beach.
House.
So
Daytona. How many bedrooms and bathrooms?
I believe it's 2 bed, 1 bath. It might be 2 and 2. I'm not 100% sure. I got to look again, but yeah, I got to pull the information up.
Is it actually Daytona, Ormond, South Daytona?
No, it's in Daytona. It's across the bridge. It's in Daytona.
Okay.
It's on It's on Braddock.
Got it. Okay, I know exactly where it is.
Yep. So it's over there.
Okay. Man, not a bad neighborhood.
Yeah. It seems all right. The house is ugly as hell, but I think, you know, things can be done with it. So
I'm telling you what, $1,500 worth of paint adds $10,000 in value.
All right.
Another $1,000 in landscaping, and people are like, "Oh my God, that's amazing house."
Yeah, I mean it's covered in trees, and it's definitely could use some help, but it's a lot of shade around it, which is good in the Florida sun. So
yeah,
but yeah, that's kind of what.
A lot of times with those older properties, it just takes a landscaping crew to go in there and trim trees up and take bushes out and trim things back, and you'd be surprised, man. It's a huge facelift.
Mm-hmm. But I called the son who flips houses in Pennsylvania, and he was like, "Yeah, I flip houses and I flip some in Florida, and I'm thinking about doing it there, but I'm not sure if I can make it out there." But I'll tell you right now, it needs a new roof. He told me, so it definitely needs a new roof.
All right.
And I said, "All right, cool." So I was getting information from him, and I have his number, so I could work him also, and just kind of talk to him, and because he's probably around my age, so we can, you know, he seemed cool on the phone, so I'll talk to him too and try to get him on my side.
He goes on your buyers list, right?
I guess so, but I guess so. I guess you're right. Yeah.
You said he flips houses up in Pennsylvania. He can be a resource for you when you find a deal in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Excel spreadsheet, my friend. Do an Excel spreadsheet by state.
Okay.
That's why I do it.
Will do.
Yep.
Awesome.
Whenever you talk to somebody, when they say they're a flipper, which means they're a buyer and a seller, or if they're just a landlord, throw them on your buyers list.
Okay.
And you'd be like, you know, I don't know if I'm going to do a deal in Pennsylvania. And then 3 weeks from now, you're going to get a deal in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
Cool. Yeah. I'll toss them on there, man.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it, man. I'll sit back and listen. I took up a lot of time, but I appreciate it.
8 minutes and 28 seconds. All right, man. Good talk.
Yeah, I appreciate your help, Mike.
All right, appreciate it, Tyler.
All right, man.
All right, who wants to be next? Raise your hand. You don't raise your hand. Oh, how about Mr. Dennis Sylvan? Come on down.
All right, Bob Barker. Cool.
Yeah.
We're the Price is Right girls.
Not in this house.
Actually, let me go a little later. My phone's ringing. My dog Parking.
All right. How about Farah? How you doing, Farah?
Good. I made a lot of progress. I put a list of assisted living facilities together. I started contacting them, estate salespeople, and I made a couple of contacts with real estate agents. And one I think is paying off because instead of providing me with homes, she has a buyer who's looking for 200-unit property on the West Coast in Florida. She's willing to give me an assignment fee on it plus 3% finder's fee. I'm just looking for a 200+ unit building in Florida.
Guess who has one?
She says she has a buyer who buys about 4 or 5 of these buildings a year, and she wants to give me the opportunity to find her one this year.
Guess who has
She
one?
said, if you can find me one and it works, we can build a great relationship on this. And I'm like, hell, why not? 200 units, I'd get a good assignment fee, plus she's giving me 3% finder fee. Can't beat that.
Guess who has one in Melbourne?
In Melbourne, you have one?
And Jacksonville.
Okay, I'm willing to look at anything.
I will. I'll get with you tomorrow morning. I'll
Okay.
send over the due diligence package, and we can take a look at both of them together.
Okay, sounds good. That will be awesome because I was breaking my head. I'm like, where am I going to find this one now?
Oh yeah, and you're right. What you do is you go out and you find yourself a realtor that you jive with, and believe it or not,
Yeah.
Realtors that deal in multifamily properties, commercial properties, if they're not CCIMs or if they're close to being a CCIM, they're way different than single family house realtors. The commercial guys get it. They understand the game. They're on it. You ask them for stuff and it like shows up within an hour.
Yeah. And she, by the way, is also a private money lender. So she told me, she says, if you're buying a buy and hold, let me know. I'll either come in as 100% equity partner. I'll bring in the money, you do the management. And we can do business together that way. I'm like, awesome.
So have you got your
So it's like I hit a gold mine with her.
have you got your sheet for the
I
day?
don't have mine up here right now with me. I'm upstairs, but I have been working on it. I've been averaging 25 calls a day.
And how many offers today?
No offers.
Okay.
That's the whole issue.
I was scrambling for the last hour before this call to get my 5 offers out, so I can say I got 5 offers out. I hate shut up here going, you're gonna get 5 offers out, and then like last week I did 3.
Yeah. So no, I have to manage my time better. So yeah. But that's the goal. But I mean, I think with this lady, with this realtor, hopefully I should be able to get some business going. She told me, she said, send me your buy box. I do have some single family homes that I can send you that you can dispose of. I said, okay.
Where are these houses?
Because she's a wholesaler come realtor. She does wholesaling herself, so she understands the business completely. She's a private money lender, wholesaler, and she's got her realtor license.
Where are these properties? Do you know?
She's going to send them to me. I don't have a clue, but they're all mostly in Tampa area.
Okay. So my buy
Yeah.
boxes, real easy. My exit strategies are pad split, which of course I want to buy everything subject to, or if I bring in, a private lender. And then the other is I'm doing going after subject to, or anything lower than $100,000. And my exit is Section 8.
Okay. So I will, once she sends the properties over, I'll see if any of them match your criteria and I can share them with you if they do. If not, I'm going to be scrambling looking for buyers.
And the thing that's amazing is people are like, oh, how do you find properties at less than $100,000? And Tyler was just on the phone on the call here 5 minutes ago, said he's got a 2-bedroom, 1 bath in Daytona or in Jersey for $70K.
In New Jersey?
In Jersey.
Which city of Jersey did you find that?
If Tyler's on,
That's in Egg Harbor Township.
Oh,
Egg
Egg
Harbor
Harbor.
Township,
Okay, I know what that is. It's about
South Jersey.
It's not too far from me. It's a nice area, nice little area. It's a safe city. It's a good city.
Yep.
2-bedroom, 1 bath, $70K.
Tired
And you
landlord,
found this
guys.
on, you
Tired
found this,
landlord, old guy.
oh,
Sorry.
so you did cold calling?
Yeah, well, yeah, my buddy sent out a text campaign, and this guy responded that he was interested. So it was a warm lead from the text campaign, and then I called him, and
Okay.
yeah, he's a
Wow,
tired
that's
landlord.
good.
Tired,
If you
he's
have
old.
any in Bergen County, let me know, because I literally am getting calls from a friend of mine who has buyers who's looking for all kinds, multifamily, single family, to buy out in Bergen County. And he's like, Farah, they're asking me for 4 or 5 homes and I don't even have one. Do you have any? And I'm like, not in Bergen County.
Wow,
Okay,
that's
guys,
good to know.
don't forget, right now in the chat, name, phone number, email.
Mine?
Everybody.
Okay.
Because I want Tyler to have yours and you to have Tyler's and everybody to have everybody's so that we can bounce deals back and forth to each other.
Okay.
All right, I'll put mine in the chat right now, guys. Thank you.
Tyler's going to be our expert in
That's
Bergen
what I'm
County,
doing
and
too.
Farrah's going to get him disposed. That's exactly how this is supposed to work. And everybody
Okay.
goes quiet while they're typing.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'll let my buddy know about Bergen County, and maybe we'll shoot some marketing out that way.
Yeah, I mean, if
But-
you can get me anything in Bergen County, that would be great, because my friend, his name is Elias, and he is like, send me something.
All right, just
And-
Bergen, huh? Just Bergen County. That's it.
Well, he mostly Bergen County, but he'll do Passaic, but right now they're concentrating on Bergen.
Okay, cool.
And the way I like to
Good
run
Yeah,
it,
intel.
and he's like,
the way I like to run it, guys, is when you do deals and there's an assignment fee, just split the assignment fee 50-50.
yeah, that sounds
Cool.
good.
And
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah,
if
Of
you're
course.
I mean, obviously we're talking about New Jersey, but if we're talking about Illinois, where you can only do 1 assignment a year, just double close it.
Okay, what's double closing? Is that
Assign-
where you put the money down, then you get a bridge loan for the rest?
No, and an assignment is where you have your contract, you have a document that or Tyler will have a contract. He will then have you sign an assignment agreement, and you will agree to give him, let's just arguably say $10,000. Okay. And then what he does is he assigns the rights to his contract to you. Now, in Illinois, because Illinois is, Illinois, you can only do that once per year. So the way you get around that is you double close it. So Tyler sets up a closing like he's going to buy the property, and your buyer has already put in a contract. You send both contracts to the title company, and the title company does 2 separate closings, one closing in one room, one closing in the other room, but the title company knows the money's there. So you don't have to fund it. Boom. So they fund it. Now, that being said, if there is more than, a 24-hour time delay just because of, title company paperwork and stuff, you might have to get somebody to give you a bridge loan to fund the deal. And then the next day you get the money back because it closes. The only time you really need to do a bridge loan like that is when there's more than 24 hours between the time the original closing is done and the second closing is done. But if they're done on the same day, generally don't have to do that.
Okay, sounds good. I've heard about that because in New Jersey, realtors have to do double closing, but I never knew what it was. I kept hearing double closing, bridge loan, but I never knew what it was.
Yeah. And the other thing too, maybe, they won't do it on the first one, but like I said, hopefully I'll get Julie in here from Priority Title. And if we start doing, a lot of business with them, generally they will give you a discount on the second closing of the double close, because obviously it's 2 different closings, but it's half the paperwork.
Right. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. So you got anything else?
No.
All right, good talking to you.
Nice talking to you too.
Okay, so Maya, you're the next one with your hands up.
Hi, this is my first time on this meeting. So thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Hello and welcome.
Thank you. So jumping into the double close situation, I have a specific question. I live in South Florida. I've been primarily doing my deals in South Florida, and it's becoming a little bit more challenging in this specific market. I did a little bit of direct to seller, and then I went direct to agent, and I still am, with agents in this area. And once in a while you get some off market stuff, but sending offers on market in Southeast Florida has been a little bit of a challenge. So I've been looking into other areas in Florida as well as South Carolina and North Carolina. So that's how I came about, talking to you, Michael. For example, today I did send 4 offers out. And I got, well, one I'm still waiting to hear, but all of them were rejected, which is part of the process. But I've been looking at the possibility of doing pre-foreclosure, like REOs or bank-owned properties. And I know we have to double close on those, right?
Yeah, but it depends on the bank.
It depends on the bank.
Some
my
banks don't
question
care,
is,
some do.
oh, I thought it was just like the standard. You have to always double close on a foreclosed on a REO. No, not necessarily.
All depends on the bank. Every transaction's different.
Okay, because I thought, okay, maybe I should look into those specific properties, because people that would buy a bank-owned property, they will buy sight unseen as long as the numbers will make sense for them, right? And then, some properties you can see, right? Sometimes you can see some of those properties, but most of them is, you don't have access to them, right? So if the numbers are right, maybe I can double close, and I would need a resource of somehow to help me, if I have to double close to do the funding. And what I'm seeing is everyone charges a 1% of the loan amount, right? Let's say it's 300,000, then you pay $3,000 to the Gator. Is that
Well, we have a resource on here. Carol, you want to jump in here and talk about what you can do?
Yeah. Hi, Maya. Welcome.
Hi, Carol.
Right. For the double close, yeah. The charge is usually about anywhere between 1% to 3% for the charge. Yeah. But then it's up to the Gator where they want to fall in between there. But the company that actually gonna do the double close, they might do a 1%, but the Gator might charge you about 3%. So they'll end up getting 2%, and the company will get their 1%. But some company won't go, their minimum they're gonna charge is $1,000. They won't go below $1,000.
What do you mean about the company that is going to do the double close, meaning the title company?
The company that has the funds.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
They'll charge you 1%, but the minimum they're gonna charge is $1,000.
So in other words, the company that's going to come in and fund your double close.
Right.
But I thought the Gator would fund my double close. No, something else?
The Gator is gonna be the connector between you and the person that has the money.
Oh,
Or you can deal with somebody who directly has the money.
Exactly. You can go straight to
okay,
the company, or you can find a Gator to do it for you.
Got it. Okay.
Right.
Sorry, because I've never done a double close before. Okay, so
If you need somebody to hook you up with Gators, I know Carol can, but I also have a big list of Gators that double close.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that would
another one right here.
That would be better, because I
There's
don't, if
Joe
you pay
Figueroa.
1% versus 2%, that would be. Hi, Joe.
Hi.
Yep.
So you said you do that?
Yes, we
Yes.
also, Carol and I are both working, the same way, where we use other people's money,
Mhm.
Exactly.
so you're gonna find that a lot of Gators do that. They use other people's money. So you're always gonna see that 1.5%, 2%, sometimes even 3%.
Mhm.
And it all
Okay.
depends on the Gator and who they're working with.
Exactly.
3%, there goes my assignment fee. Goodbye.
And some Gator will go a flat amount, or they go to 2% or the 3%
see.
or whatever it is. Yeah.
That's good
Depends.
to keep. No, I'll keep that in mind for sure. The
Yeah.
other question is, I have a potential property in Inglewood, Florida, which is Sarasota. It's not Sarasota County, it's Charlotte County.
Charlotte, okay.
Charlotte County, yes. So Michael, and I think, I don't know what areas you focus on, and if you primarily buying yourself, or if you also, help dispo deals, how does that work?
I buy myself. I've got 2 exits. One is a pad split. The other one is Section 8, but I also dispo.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, 50-50 on the assignment fee.
Yeah. And are you in Florida? I know you're in Tampa, right?
Lakeland. I'm in Lakeland.
Lakeland, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So is your primary market like all over Florida, or you just anywhere?
Be honest with you, I'm marketing in secondary markets outside of Florida, Arizona, and Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
And-
No, that makes sense.
Did I tell you why?
No.
Everybody else has heard this. I'll make it short. Once a month, like starting tomorrow, I'll search Lakeland just to see, because I hate missing stuff in my backyard. Last month, I found a property that was listed at 50% of ARV. I talked to the realtor. The realtor listed it the day before. This is like 11 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday. The realtor gets it. He understands the business. He understands wholesalers. He said the property was, needs a lot of work. It was a probate that just got completed. And I said, I'm a wholesaler. I'm going to need to get it a little bit lower to add my fee to send it to my buyers. He totally got it. He says, send me an offer. Those numbers sound good. By the way, you'll be the 10th offer on this property. And I've only listed it 18 hours ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
To which I was like, all the gurus talk about Florida, Texas, and Arizona. So, you got 10,000 people you're competing against. But if you go 40, if you go into secondary markets like Memphis, Tennessee, you go into Birmingham, Alabama, you go into Huntsville, you go into these markets that are 40 to 45 minutes outside of a major metropolitan area. Sure, you're competing against people, but I'd rather compete against 500 people as opposed to 10,000.
Right.
That's why I've been focusing on secondary markets.
So, and this is my question to you as I'm pivoting, right? If you can give me some guidance on that, right? Because I've been primarily doing direct to agent right now, probably, calling agents, send me deals, whatever. And that's time consuming as well. But what you're doing, you're probably going on Previe and doing your searches directly for properties that are on market, I believe, correct?
Correct. But I stack another list on top of that. What I've been going after is listings that have been on market for more than 100 days.
More than 100 days.
More than 100 days. That means the realtor is halfway through their listing agreement and they haven't sold the property.
Yeah.
So now the seller is calling them once a week going, how come you haven't sold my house?
What happened? Yeah.
And the realtor also knows there are no cash buyers in the market for that property. So now they're open to creative offers. Where, and I just wrote an article about this morning is, I think the market I covered was Memphis, where the average days on market is 43 days. Prior to that 43-day mark, forget it. You're not going to get a discount. You're not going to get creative. And the reason why is because the realtor believes there's a cash buyer out there.
Right.
And by cash buyer, I mean a buyer that's going to go to a bank and get a mortgage.
Right.
Once you cross over that minute or that average days on market, now the realtors starting to realize they're not going to be cash buyers. When they get to 100 days, they now have an albatross they just want to get rid of.
Right. Right.
Because they know if they wait any longer, they're going to lose the listing.
Yeah, 100%.
Now,
but then for you, like when you go on Preview, right, and you don't see a lot of action, right? Let's say it has been 100 days on market and you don't see a lot of cash buyers there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then it's like, okay, you might be able to pull the list from somewhere else for other cash buyers in a similar area that you can kind of cold call, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Do your thing.
Right.
Or you gotta have to try to do creative, right?
Yeah. Like the other thing too is if you don't see a lot, and I talked about this last week, I actually have a realtor that gets it. As a matter of fact, I'm actually scheduling an interview with her because she gets it. She gets what we do. And I asked her if she would go, because I do not have a real estate license, but I asked her if she would send me the expired listings for her county, which is Seminole County. So now every time a listing expires, I get an email. In Seminole County, she also set up Orange, Polk, Hillsborough, like she set up like 10 different counties in Central Florida. So every time a listing expires, I get an email.
That's great.
What I would
That's
encourage
awesome.
everybody to do is find a realtor like that and you know, have them send you their expired listings. Now the realtor's, you know, not going to get paid a commission. So you got to offer them, hey, listen, if I get a deal and I close on it, I'm going to give you $1,500.
Yeah.
And they'll do it all day long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you're going after properties nobody knows about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the realtors aren't going to go after them because they're expired and the seller is not happy with realtors.
Right.
So now
Well, I know realtors go
a-
after them. No, realtors go after them, actually. They do.
but
but-
now they've got to overcome the seller going, what makes you different than
Then
one
the other
that can
guy.
sell my
Yeah.
house?
Or the other girl. Yeah.
Now
Then-
that realtor's fighting an uphill battle like we do.
Right.
Except we don't have that baggage. We're coming in going, hey, listen, I'm not here to list your property. I'm here to buy your property.
Right.
Big
Yeah.
difference. So what I would encourage everybody to do is go out and develop a relationship with a realtor who will set you up with email alerts on expired properties, expired listings.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. Okay, I'll keep you in mind for the one in Englewood. I'm still waiting on it. I know it's a complete gut job, and you know the property's near the water, and the price point I think is gonna be good.
Let me tell you about last week. So I had
Sure.
an Astro student send me a property, told me in the email that he had the property at 45% of ARV.
Mhm.
I didn't actually speak to him. And I called him a couple times, sent him emails, sent messages. He just wasn't answering. So I went out and did my thing. I figured, all right, property's worth 110, conservatively worth 110. I marketed it at 61,000, figuring that any buyer is going to beat me down to like 50 or 55. All right,
Right.
let them win the negotiation. Then I went out and found two buyers. One offered 30 grand for it. The other one offered 50. Now I figured if he's got it at 45% of ARV, that's probably, you know, he's got it at 45,000, 43,000, something like that. Nice. Make a couple of phone calls over a couple of days and split 7 or 10 grand in assignment fee. Finally got him on the phone. Property had a ARV of 110. He had it under contract for 100,000.
Oh my God.
And what part of that is 45% of ARV?
Oh my gosh. Oh,
I am just shaking my head, shaking my head on that one.
that's
Ridiculous. Mm.
yeah,
Now-
I'm sure you see a lot of that, right? So I'm sure.
But again, I was talking to Joe about this the other night, is I could look at that like, oh, I wasted a whole bunch of time for a guy who didn't know what he was doing. No, I found two players.
Yeah.
I found two players that'll buy properties south of Nashville.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
one guy that offered 30 grand, I looked at the last 12 fix and flips in this area south of Nashville. He had half of them.
Wow.
And the other lady was a realtor who's like, oh, I've walked through this house 4 or 5 times. It's for sale. I'll give you 50 grand for it right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying is, even though that deal fell apart, I found two hot buyers in that market.
Oh yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. No, that's good to know. I'll keep you posted with anything. I know, you know, taking action in different areas of Florida, and I'm even exploring outside of Florida a little bit too. But of course, like when you're looking at other areas, it's hard. It's easy to become overwhelmed too, right? So you got to pick, okay, let me pick this area and understand this area a little bit better before I go and venture into another place, because it's like, oh, so
Yeah.
just trying to
And
get
I'll be honest with you, over the last month, I worked Chicago, and I learned something about Chicago. Investors on the north side do not go to the south side. The guys on the south side do not go to the north side. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I just figured it was Chicago.
Yeah. There is a thing. Yeah, when there's a thing. We visited Chicago. We used to live in Massachusetts, so we visited Chicago once, and it's like there is really that thing about the south and north, and it's interesting.
Yeah. So anything else?
Not for me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Great talking to you. Okay. Farrah's got her hand up.
Hey, so quick question. How do we find cash buyers on Privy?
all right. What I have discovered with Privy and, or with Propware, which is a free version of Privy. And
Yes.
I'm now using both. But the thing about it is all of the guys that are serious players are protecting their assets. So they're putting the properties either in trust. And once it goes into a trust, you're never going to figure out who they are.
Right.
Because the document that shows who they are never gets filed on public record. The other guys will do an LLC, and the sharper guys obviously have an attorney put it together, and the attorney, puts their own contact information. So you never know who that cash buyer is.
Okay.
So when you start trying to research the LLCs on open corporates, you're like looking for a cash buyer, and all of a sudden 45 minutes, an hour later, you're like, I've run down this rabbit hole and I can't find this guy. But you wasted 45 minutes. So what I've been doing is I've been looking for the fix and flips, and Privy gives you the realtor that marketed it. And what I do,
Okay, but how do you know it's a fix and flip? It'll tell you that?
yeah, Privy tells you it's all the fix and flips. There's a button.
Okay, so
So
the one that says fix and
You're right. What I do is I hit the button that says fix and flips. It pulls up all the fix and flips. And then what I will do, let's like in Chicago, for example, I didn't just put in Chicago, Illinois. What I did is I put in the zip code of the property that I was dispoing, and it pulled up all the fix and flips in that zip code. So then I went in and put in the address. I put in the name of the realtor. I put in the brokerage firm. Then what I do is I go into Google and I put in Chicago realtor, name of the realtor and the brokerage firm, and that'll generally take you to realtor.com or Zillow, and it'll actually pull up their information and give you their cell phone number.
right.
Now, the other thing I do also is sometimes I'll put email at the end of that, and sometimes it'll pull up their emails. But the line is I'm looking for their cell phone. And then what I'll do is I'll send a text message. Hey, my name's Mike Grady. I've got this deal over XYZ Street, and I am a fix and flipper, but I've got too many deals this month, so I'm looking to wholesale this deal. Do you have any rehabbers that are looking for a deal this month?
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
And then they get back to
sounds
you.
good.
So let the realtor go find their rehabbers, because the rehabber is going to pay their commission, not you.
Okay.
Let the realtor go find your buyers.
Okay, sounds good. That makes sense. So okay, now
the other thing I learned to do is, because all right, so let's say in one zip code, let's say there's only 4 realtors that have listed fix and flip, somebody who bought it, rehabbed it, and they sold it. Then what I do is I go and I look at all the zip codes around that zip code. It does 2 things. When you call up realtors that are not used to work in that neighborhood, they're gonna be like, oh, that's a rundown neighborhood, nobody buys there. But you contact the realtors that are doing deals in that zip code, they know the market. They know who the buyers are that are buying in that zip code.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, let the realtors do the work.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, when one buyer buys it and 3 others wanted it, now you've got a realtor that knows you do deals.
Oh, okay.
It's got a lot of benefits. And by the way, you put all that into a spreadsheet so you can use it over and over and over again.
Over and over again, yeah.
I mean, I've got several spreadsheets where I've got the realtors that are the fix and flip players by zip code.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. Don't do the work twice, do the work once.
Okay, so you divide it out, you put the zip code and then you put the names of the realtors down there.
Yep.
Okay.
And
That's
the
good
actual
to know.
property. And the actual property. And by the way, once
Right.
that you know how when you call up a realtor, like, hey, do you have any cash buyers? And they're like, sure, but I'm not telling you who they are unless I get paid.
Yeah.
Once they give you that buyer, that's your buyer forever.
True.
That buyer's name and phone number and email go in hip pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good. Actually, this is good information.
Just telling you what I do every day,
Thank
that's all.
Thank you.
All right, cool. Anything else?
Not from me, no.
All right. How about Mr. Sylvan? See if he put his dogs away.
I got this little handy dandy anti-bark thing that you press on and put it on their head like a gun, and it sends some kind of like dog whistle to them.
That's awesome.
Someone's probably gonna get one for me.
What you got, my brother?
Well, going back onto what you were saying about using Privy to get buyers, that's what I'm looking for, is a buyer to get this property done.
That's one up in Pine Hop, is it?
Yep.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, I did a addendum for the inspection period last night, and the realtor said, well, I can't use that one with my broker, so she sent me one and I signed it and we're off to the races. But yeah, that's what I've been doing, guys, is trying to get a buyer for that. And so I've been going on Privy, clicking down where your public information is, clicking on where you can see the transactions, trying to find the buyers. What he said, I'd never thought about calling the agents.
Here, right. Let me give you another tip. All right. Dennis and I have already talked about this. The problem with this property is that it's in a town of like 1,200 people.
Yeah.
So obviously we're working in a market that's way too small, but he's got the deal. Dennis, you said in this market there's a lot of Airbnbs, right?
There's a lot of rentals. It's a mountain place, so it's a lot of rentals. Everybody here in Phoenix wants to get away from the heat, so they go up there. They go to Flagstaff.
Here's what I was thinking. Go on the Airbnb website, look for Airbnbs in that area, find the addresses, and then reverse look up. So in other words, take that address off of Airbnb because you know that's an Airbnb, and then put it into Privy or PropWire to find out who the owner is.
All right.
So in other words, you're calling up somebody like, hey, I saw your Airbnb and I've got one for sale in the same area. Are you looking for another Airbnb?
All right, that sounds amazing. Thanks.
That's a good
Wow.
idea.
Just telling you what I do every day.
Well, you've been doing it for a while. That's interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I
got to write some of this stuff down, you know?
No, I am writing it down. I'm writing it. I'm writing it right here. The other thing that was very interesting, guys, is and I don't know if Mike's gone through this, but the pictures were not what they seemed.
Oh yeah.
And it was rough. I went there yesterday. I got up at 6:30, drove 3 hours to get over there.
Oof.
Looked at it. The dude was drunk or hungover. It was a mess. It was a mess. Not, I'm not saying cleanliness, but it just needed a lot of repairs. There was toilets off of their flanges. There was sinks messed up. There was flooring that was feeling like it would go through, and he was stomping on it. Says, "Yeah, this feels a little off," and I'm like, "Okay." And the roof was, if you've been to the mountains, you know that they use different type of roofs on houses there. So that looked all tattered and worn and rusted. I personally think it was a big renovation, like to the studs, or a tear down. So we'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed, but Mike's been helping me out on things. My mentor for Astro's been no show. He's very hard to get a hold of. And going from there. Now, my deal was with Keegley exclusively for the first couple of days. They still have it, but I'm marketing the crap out of it. I'm even going to Facebook, putting on all some of the investor groups. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Far and wide, my friend, far and wide.
Yep.
Just tell
And
me,
so
now that you got more information, tell me you got this property at 40% of ARV.
yeah, I got it at 40% of ARV,
Right.
but what is the ARV on it? That's why I was trying to get a hold of you today, because it's kind of out there. It's in Booneyville. The problem was the real estate agent listed it at 1152 square feet. And when you went to the county assessors, it was 3,400 square feet.
Well,
And so we were off by a lot of square footage.
but that's better for you.
It is better for me, but it's hard to find a comparable to that in that area.
Well, you said this is a rental / Airbnb, right?
It's a rental. It's a shithole. Sorry.
But bottom line is how much income does a property bring in?
Well, that's where I asked him. I had a piece of paper. I had my rolling measuring tape. You know how it rolls out when you have to do large spreads like pools and stuff.
Yeah.
I also had a regular measuring tape, but the guy was he's looked kind of skittish and drunk. So I was like, I'm leaving the rolling thing in here. Just take the measuring tape. And if this guy does anything stupid, I'm just going to put him to the ground. But nothing like that happened. It was very weird. But at the end, I asked him, and he was not keeping a track record of his payrolls for rentals. His dad was when he was alive, and his dad died of cancer.
The moral of the story is you want to comp this two different ways. You want to comp it as a straight rehab, with compare other rehabs, and then you want to comp it as an income property.
Yep.
That'll kind of help you focus in on a true ARV.
Yep. And so that's
if he, and don't get me wrong, I'm looking to buy a coin operated laundry, and I found a guy who owns 2 of them, and he runs them through all the income and expenses through his personal home checking account.
Yep.
2 laundromats. So it's not uncommon for these people to not run their businesses like businesses.
Yep.
What you can do is find another Airbnb in the neighborhood or another rental in the neighborhood and just base your numbers off of theirs.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. I got all the information that I could out of him. He kept looking up at the sky, and I'm like, okay, what are you paying for electricity? What are you paying for water? What are you paying for gas? What are your tenants paying? Is it together? Is it separate? Blah, 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 blah. Are you keeping a journal of what you're getting paid? He goes, nah, not anymore, bro. I used to be good. And
that's what happens with tired landlords.
Yeah.
But just remember, when you're doing your numbers and you're looking to sell this as an income property, every one of your investors is going to want a minimum of 15% cash on cash return.
Yep. And he was probably his dad was getting back in the 90s, $1,900.
Right.
So now I don't know.
Yeah.
But the interesting part was this. Here's where it gets interesting, guys. It was where he was starting to ask me questions. And I was like, well, this is what you could do. This is what you could do with this. This is what you could do with that. And you start feeling for the guy, because I looked at him, and I know he's like 5 years younger than me. And I just looked at him. I said, listen, you can't party with your tenants. You can't drink with your tenants. You can't have sexual relations with your tenants. You have to keep it straight and narrow. He goes, I used to be like that, bro. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's tired landlord right there.
Bang.
So that's what you guys are looking for, is people that don't look like they're doing much. They're just living by a feather, like on what's that movie that God, I forgot what it's called.
All-
Anyway,
All I know is you're having sexual relationship with your tenants are gonna own your place.
yes.
They're
So
gonna take it from you so fast it'll make your head spin.
yeah, it's little things like, bumming a cigarette off him. That's what I saw him, and I'm like, yeah, you just don't do it. Just you got to keep it straight.
Yep.
So
Just
Yeah, it's going
remember, every time you interact with somebody, just interact with them like you're explaining it in front of a judge, because someday you're gonna be.
yeah. So you're saying you just go on Privy and do that kind of thing with the agents and Airbnb and do the reverse lookup? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, what
I would reach out to the agents that do business in that market first, because they know who their buyers are.
can
and
I ask you a question? Go ahead. Go ahead. Can I ask you a question?
Who said that?
Me, can I ask you a question?
Oh, me? Yeah, yeah.
And anybody else. When you are, because I haven't been calling anybody, I haven't got any deals out because I've been trying to salvage this one. And when you're in Astro, you start to just try to acquire property first. The second thing, as soon as you capture the property, that's when your mind has to start going, and you don't pay attention to that. It's trying to find buyers. So my question is, I know you're seasoned and you have a buyer's list, but let's say for an hour, how many hours are you supposed to look for buyers, and how many properties are you supposed to prospect?
To answer for me personally, I spend about 2 hours in the morning doing social media. I will spend probably 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, finding buyers, and then the rest of the day finding sellers. So really, my day's broken up into 3 parts, with maybe a break here and there just to get up out of my chair, maybe grab some lunch, grab a drink, just take a break for 10 minutes. But my day's broken up into 3 parts: social media, buyers, sellers.
And how many when you're looking at sellers and prospect houses, how many of these houses are you comping while you're trying to call them?
I use Privy, I use PropWire, and I use Zillow. And I'm only doing it from a 50,000 foot point of view. So I will take what Zillow say it's worth, what's PropWire say it's worth, what's Privy say it's worth, and then I just average the 3, and that's close enough for me to make an offer. Now, once we start getting more into it, and I've got more interest, then I will get a lot more granular and make sure that I'm not wildly off. But those 3, if you look at those 3 for any one property, you're going to be pretty damn close.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's all I got
So
right
you
now.
said Privy, you said Privy, Zillow, and
PropWire, PROPWIRE, PropWire. Go sign up. It's free.
yeah, I know. It's for free, right? PropWire
Yeah.
is free. I know that.
And the thing I like about PropWire, it gives you a lot more information about the financials that Privy doesn't give you. And Zillow doesn't give you any of the financial information.
Like
Right.
what financials are you talking about?
Original mortgage, lender, rate, estimated balance, estimated PIP. It gives you taxes, estimated insurance, everything you need.
And it gives the APN. That's the major thing that Privy doesn't sometimes gives, and Zillow never gives.
Yeah.
What's APN?
What's
I'm
APN
sorry.
again?
What's
Dennis,
APN?
what's APN?
APN is it's kind of like the SKU number for a house for the county.
Oh,
It has 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So 8, I believe, numbers. It's a dash. It's kind of like a social security number for the
in
house.
Florida we call it
Parcel.
partial. Yeah.
Parcel. Yes, you have to look at that. I'm making mistakes, so maybe you guys can learn off me, but look at the parcel before you sign the documents, because now I'm in a pickle, because the house is bigger, which is good, but it's hard to find a comp for it because it's such in a rural area. So it's like, So I'm over here trying to ask every mogul and Mike, you know, what the heck I'm supposed to do.
No, I say it's a good advice. I always do that when I get something under contract and the deals that I've sold, I always look at the county, and in the county also sometimes, not every county is the same, but it would say market value, and the market value is always lower than what it really is,
Yeah.
right? So if you get your property locked up at market value of the county, you're golden, right? Because you're always going to sell it.
Yep.
Or even close, to that number somehow.
Or assess value, which is even lower.
I'm sorry, yes, assessed value, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's how it goes. If you look at that number and if you lock it up close to that, you're pretty golden.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. That's just an old school chart.
Oh.
And for the people that are not in the business, they don't know the difference between market value and assessed value. I've had seasoned landlords that just don't give a crap anymore. They just want to unload it. Like, I'll sell it to you for assessed value. I told the guy, no problem. But it's a rehab, total rehab. I had to go look at it first. By the time, and it was raining that night, so I didn't go that night. I went 9 o'clock the next morning. By the time I got back to him at 10 o'clock in the morning, he'd already sold it to somebody else who bought it sight unseen.
So my question would be to you, how valuable is boots on the ground since we're doing this virtually most of the time?
Boots on the ground, what I have found is your buyer will walk the property and kind of let you know where you're at. But if you're conservative, like I said, if you're locking up properties at 40 cents on the dollar, you're not going to be off by that much. If you're at 70%, you can be way off. But at 40%, you're bare bones.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you locking up all of your deals at 40%, Michael?
The ugly ones, yeah. Keep in mind, you're looking at me like I'm crazy because you're in one of the hottest markets.
I'm in Florida.
You're in Florida. I know another guy that was marketing in Phoenix, and I kept telling him for about a month to get out of Phoenix.
Yeah.
He finally listened to me, and the day after, he found a property the next day.
Yeah, after my conversation with you, I have this thing in the back of my mind. I'm like, I gotta
pick another market. You don't have to get out of Florida, but spend 10-20% of your time in a secondary market. So what do I mean by secondary market? Take Atlanta and go 45 minutes in each direction.
Yeah.
Take you can even do it in Texas. Take Dallas and then go in 45 minutes in each direction.
Yeah. Do you have any experience with North Carolina and South Carolina at all?
Yeah. Raleigh. Oh God.
I guess you wouldn't be Charlotte, right? Because Charlotte is the major metro area. It would have to be outside of Charlotte.
Right. I would go outside of Charlotte. Yep.
Can I say something? Can I say something that I did today?
Go ahead.
Because he's been politely on my ass, but not on my ass. And what I did was I used Google and I said, 40 minutes, what major cities are outside of Phoenix, 40 minutes from Phoenix? And it gives you all of them.
Yes, it does. I've done that too. Or you can just go and say, cities within 10 miles of Phoenix, and it'll list you every city that there is.
And you guys forget, because we are in the modern world now. Don't forget to not use ChatGPT. ChatGPT is your friend.
It is your best friend.
Your friend.
Yes.
If you are pissed off at your wife or husband, you can write a letter and have that thing rewrite it for you, and you will be golden. You will be showered with love.
Oh my gosh.
I use ChatGPT for a lot of things. Writing letters to my girlfriend ain't one of them.
I did it. I just wanted to see if it would work. And she was like astonished. And I was like, she goes, "Did you write that?" I said, "No." ChatGPT did. She goes, oh my God, it is
Good thing
so
you didn't lie.
good. I said, it
All
was,
right.
she goes, it was so
I-
good.
When I'm doing my data stuff in the morning, I like to have talk radio on, and these guys I listen to actually were listening to a video that was put out by a radio station where the morning DJ was giving away concert tickets or something like that. And they recorded her giving away the concert tickets, and her name was Ann. And ChatGPT listened to her, and then they flipped over the control to AI Ann, and the AI called one of the listeners to give away tickets, and the listener couldn't tell the difference between the live Ann and the AI.
Yeah, you can't. There are videos that I have seen that has Biden praising Trump and Trump praising Biden. You won't be able to tell the difference. You won't say that this is a fake video.
And guys,
It is so real.
here's the thing that'll freak you out. ChatGPT just went live in November. That technology is not even a year old yet.
I'm trying to buy stock in it. And there's another thing that you guys need to know. That when I go to Wholesale Hotline, when you see me in my truck, which I'm not doing today, and I go to Brent Daniels, I don't know if you guys have been on Wholesale Hotline, but Brent Daniels is a nice guy. He has a gentleman named Jesse that used to work for Jamil. All he does is pay per click, putting together things with God mode, with Chat GPT, and they make $70,000 off their leads.
And that's what a friend of mine was telling me who's doing real estate. He says, I use ChatGPT to pinpoint the highest markets in real estate. I give them the criteria and I tell them find the markets, and they'll give me the whole list of markets. He said,
Maya, to answer your question, in North Carolina, I focus on Charlotte, Greensboro, and Raleigh.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry, Fer, go ahead.
no, but that's what I was saying, that he uses ChatGPT to find the hot market. And if you program it right, or you ask the right questions, they'll find you houses in the market too.
That's right. Yeah.
So.
Okay. So you've had your 15 minutes there, Dennis. So I'm going to move on to Alexis. Alexis, are you there? He's probably driving a truck somewhere.
Hello.
Hey there. How you doing, man?
What's up, Mike?
I knew you'd be driving somewhere.
Yeah, man, I'm always driving. At least at this time of day, you're always gonna catch me driving.
So what can I do for you today, sir?
Yeah, Mike, I had a question that because I'm trying to pivot a little bit myself, and I've made some connections with wholesalers here in DFW. So I get sent deals from them pretty often. Now, what I want to do more now is build my buyers list. So my question is on the micro flip side, because I've never had a problem with another wholesaler. Like, I'll tell them straight up, like, I'm not the end buyer, but I can try to find them a buyer. So with the wholesaler side is no problem. But when I approach buyers to do a micro flip, should I be disclosing that as well, that I'm not the contract holder, or should I get an exclusive option only to market other people's deals, or how would I go about that?
First question you got to ask anybody that you're Dispo'in to: do you care how much money I make on a deal?
Okay.
Any answer other than I don't care, you're not dealing with a real player. That'll solve all your problems. Just ask them. And every buyer that I ever put on my buyers list, that's the first thing I ask them after I develop some rapport. If I bring you a deal, do you care how much money I make on the deal? If they say no, as long as the numbers work for me, I don't care how much you make.
So I should be asking that to the buyers then.
To the buyers.
Okay.
And if they say anything other than, as long as the numbers work for me, I don't care how much you make, that person goes straight on the buyer's list. And then the other thing you got to say to them is, when I bring you a deal, you're going to need to provide me with proof of funds that I can verify, or a screenshot of your bank account without the, you know, with the bank number blacked out. You got to know that they got to have the ability to close.
Okay.
And they're generally not going to give you that information until you're about to send them a deal.
Awesome, awesome. So that's on the buyer side. But the reason why I'm asking if I should disclose with them, like whenever, like if I get a deal from another wholesaler, is because I saw somebody post on the Astro group, on the Facebook group, that they market a deal to one of their buyers from another wholesaler, and that buyer had already seen the deal before from the contract holder. So I don't want to get into that mess, you know, of, oh, you're bringing me a deal that it's not yours, you know.
That's the problem with micro flipping. And that's,
So then it's
that's why I don't do micro flipping. And to be honest with you, I hate getting deals from other wholesalers, because I know everybody in the world's seen it before I have. And the other problem is usually by the time it gets to me, all the equity's gone.
Okay, so then it's a risk that I'm always gonna be facing if I do micro flipping them.
Yep.
There's no other way around it. Because I was thinking to just straight up disclose it to the buyer, like, hey man, you know, like I'm helping out another wholesaler, you know, like move this. Like I actually did that. As a matter of fact, I did that with somebody that hit me up on wholesale hotline, or they didn't hit me up, they had a deal, but nobody answered to their post. So I hit them up and I was like, hey, can I help you, you know, like find a buyer for this? And they were like, yeah, absolutely. So I caught a few buyers in that area. And I straight up told them, I was like, hey, I'm gonna just let you know, I'm not the contract holder, but I have this wholesaler friend that got this property locked up, and I'm helping them Dispo'in. And it seems like they didn't have a problem with it. They just, you know, as long as it made sense for them. So I don't know if maybe, you know, like that's an approach that I should take when doing micro flipping.
All right, the default answer is always going to be transparency is going to keep you safe.
Yeah.
If you're honest with your buyer, the buyer's going to know that you're trustworthy. If you're honest with your seller, the seller's going to know you're trustworthy. Because yeah, are there some buyers that are going to try to go around you and snake you? Yeah. And I explain to every one of my buyers, you do that, you'll never get another deal from me. So if you want to jump over dollars to get the pennies, knock yourself out.
Michael, can I add something to this conversation?
Sure, this isn't just me. Jump in here.
Yeah, I've done some micro flipping too here, and I've ran into that situation too. What's his name? Alexis?
Yeah.
Always when another wholesaler sends you a deal, what I try to say to, if I haven't worked with them before, I'd say, can you send me the redacted contract, right? Because at the end of the day, you're putting your reputation on the line, you know, right, to sell that contract, right? So the buyer is buying that piece of paper, right? So the closing date needs to match, you know, I don't need to see what the other person is making. I don't care, right? But if that other wholesaler is the third on the line or the fourth of the line, he'll never send you that contract. And then, you know, like, hey, man, like, you don't really have it, right? Because you're burning bridges if you are sending it over and that guy doesn't really have the contract, right? And I've run into that. That's why I'm telling you. So, you know, it happened once and it happened quickly. And I was like, hey, never again. Now, send me the redacted contract. Yes, I'll help you. Any day, anytime, right? It doesn't have to be your contract, no problem. If you're the second in line, no problem. But as long as you get it, you know, that's what I'm going to be selling. You know, at the end of the day, that's what you're going to be selling, that contract, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a way of vetting people too.
And
Oh, okay. But
and keep in mind the title companies hate daisy chains. Hate them.
yeah, it's that's a process that I'm trying to avoid. Yeah, I don't want to be a daisy chainer. So if anytime I've like tried to do microflip, I've always discussed with the wholesaler, like, hey man, not the end buyer, but you know, like if you're open to it, I can help you, you know, this will because I don't want to be known as a daisy chainer, you know, I don't want to just grab somebody's deal, not even tell them about it and then go mark the deal and like Maya just I know, you know, I don't that also kind of if I were to do that, it also puts me like in a tough position. Who knows if they're not even the actual contract holders?
Right.
So yeah,
Mike-
that's great
Well,
advice to be
What
honest.
Maya said, ask them for the redacted contract. If they hesitate at all, yeah, you know what you got. She's right. That's a great way to vet your seller.
Yeah, can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, this is Joe. Alexis, ask the 6 questions that I usually ask. Address, purchase price, escrow officer, close of escrow, pictures, and access. If they can answer all 6 of those questions, they are direct to seller. If they cannot answer those 6 questions, they can't give you, as Maya said, the redacted contract. They are not. But if you ask them this first, then you'll scare them away and they'll say, okay, well, no, never mind.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, I usually try to I learned early on in my when I first joined Astro. Because I was trying to do that, trying to dispo somebody's deal, and they were like, "Hey, you know, like, what's this?" And you know, all the 6 questions, and I had no idea. So, man, I learned quick to
Well,
always, you know, ask that.
the other thing too is if you're doing a deal, if you're using my lead sheet form and you ask them all these questions, they're direct to seller. If they can't answer those questions, which is roof, you know, condition of the roof, kitchen, floors, bathrooms, paint, electrical box, AC system, timeline, what's the seller's motivation, you know, and then all the mortgage information. If they know all that, you're direct to seller. If they don't have any idea what those are, not direct to seller.
Man, actually said that, Mike, because I have an agent that's a wholesaler as well, and he brought me a deal. It's way overpriced, man. It's way overpriced, and I let him know that it's overpriced, but that if he likes that, I can help him dispo. But before I even did that, I asked him about like that, the condition of the roof, the plumbing, foundation, everything, and he like took forever to answer me. So he finally got back to me. He said, "Oh man, finally got response from the seller." Question. So I don't know. Like he said, I got back response from the seller. So either he could be selling the definitely not the contract holder. I don't know, but something that I now gotta keep in mind for sure because never thought of it that way.
And then, like we talked about in the beginning, when you're getting listings sent by realtors, is that listing older than the average days on market for that marketplace? So in other words, if the average days on market is 50 days and a realtor sends you a listing where the property's been on market for 18 days, that realtor in their head, they still think there's a cash buyer out there willing to go get a mortgage.
So then I have a question on that one. I mean, if it's on market, if it's on MLS and you try to dispo it, you're not going to get any way to dispo it because it's still on market. It's still listed. So what are you supposed to do?
You asking me?
I'm asking you and everybody else.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm only dispoing for people that, you know, wholesalers. I'm not dispoing for realtors.
Sorry, my signal went out for a little bit. I didn't catch the last part.
Dennis had a question for you.
Oh, he had a question for me?
Yeah, I have
What's
a
up?
question. if you get a contract from a seller that has a property on market, so you get it from Zillow, you found it, you comp it, you reach out, you get the contract. Now it's signed in your name, and you're like, way to go. The second part is dispoing it. Now you have to mark it up, but the agent still has it on Zillow. It still has it on Redfin, still showing on FREEBIES as the price that they had it listed at. What do you do?
Shoot, I don't know, man. I've never actually locked up a property on market, to be honest.
Something that I've done before, and you got to have the right agent, an agent that gets it. You can actually have them raise the list price.
Mhm.
Now you got to ask
But-
them to do it, and some will, some won't. So what?
But that's if, I mean, that's like let's say I go lock one up right now, but I'm not sure I understand, the reason why I would ask them to raise up the purchase price or the list price.
For a bigger spread.
Okay.
I mean, they're not going to raise it 100 grand, but they might raise it 10.
Can I jump in here and ask, can you have them remove it from MLS and all these places?
Not if it's under contract. I mean,
Or sure it is
the only way
offline?
it's going to be removed from the MLS is if the seller tells them to. Keep in mind that they're under contract. The realtor's under contract.
Right. Or maybe show it as offer accepted or something like that, off market or something.
Pending. What they'll do is list it as pending.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So now I get it. So you're talking about if the agent has it under contract, then, right? That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, an agent has a listing agreement, and then you put in an offer, and the seller accepts the offer, then it goes pending.
Oh, okay.
Same thing with bank-owned properties, or properties that you've got to get approval from the bank. As soon as I submit the offer, it goes pending. Well, the offer hasn't been accepted yet, but it still goes pending.
Okay. Then that's some good advice, man, because I've been meaning to ask that, and whenever I get to Jamil's call, I always forget my questions. So
That's the problem with that. That's the problem with waiting in line for 2 hours.
Yep. That's the average. That's if I'm like paying attention, because most of the time I'm driving, so putting the 3 question marks is a big hassle. So but hey, Mike, I don't know if you have like a quick rundown on, do you ever try to maybe reason or educate agents that, and because I've gotten some pocket listings, man, and these agents are out of their mind. Like, they think just a little bit of paint and some flooring is gonna do it, and they want to they want to give it to you close to ARV, and I'm just not sure how to approach them. Like, I don't want them to stop sending me deals, so I don't want to be rude, or I don't want to come off as like I am a know-it-all or something like that, So do you have an approach to those situations?
I do not have an approach to those situations. I'm talking about rehabbing. But yeah, unless you've rehabbed a house, you don't have any idea how expensive it is. And you can't go to a course and learn it 100%. You got to actually do it. And most realtors have never rehabbed a house. For example, I made an offer. I think I told you, well, maybe not. Last week, I made an offer on a property in New Orleans, and the realtor had to disclose, because they had an appraiser and a inspection done, and there was a leak in the master bathroom, and it was they had a jacuzzi pool, and it was most likely leaking at the motor. And the only way to get at the motor was to take out the entire tub, and the tub was granite block. So bottom line, to get this tub out, you would have had to rip out the entire bathroom. Well, if you're going to rip out the bathroom, you might as well replace the bathroom. And the property was vacant. There were no appliances. The kitchen needed to be remodeled, and the GFI switches were daisy chained. That is a code violation. Let's just say the property, its ARV was 200,000. They thought that 175 is where they should sell it at, with full rehab on the kitchen, a full rehab on the master bathroom, and you had to get into the wiring in the house because it was wired wrong, and the that from where the air handler is in the attic to the back bedroom, there was a 20-degree temperature drop. Well, what it was is all the venting had holes in it in the attic, which means all that venting's got to get replaced. All that work the realtor thought they could do for $25,000. That's a $90,000 rehab. And she got all pissed off when I offered 40 cents on the dollar for the house. Because that realtor has no idea that you're going to eat up 25 grand just in the bathroom.
Just in the bathroom.
This went from a Section 8 to a rehab. I told her that. And she thought all that work would be, you could do that for 25 grand. Master bathroom, kitchen, rewire the kitchen, and do the venting in the attic.
Yeah, man, and I guess that's why you say you don't really have an approach for it, because man, about 80% of the time it's the tone kind of changes and they get pissed off. So, but
remember, and I'm going to ask you, how many offers did you get out today?
Today, none.
Okay.
Not today.
Everybody, every week, I'm going to ask everybody, you got to get out 5 offers a day, 25 offers a week, 100 offers a month, and 97 of those are going to be no's. Don't get hung up on the no's. Matter of fact, the quicker the no, the more money you made.
Yeah. And I mean, most of them, you could put them on follow-up, and if you keep bugging them.
Yeah. But I only call them once a month because those realtors don't know what they're doing. But the way that you get consistent in this business is 5 offers a day, 5 days a week, 4 weeks a month. You put out 100 offers, you're going to get 3 deals a month, every month, in and out.
Do you make all your offers to the realtors, or do you do cold calling and make offers to sellers directly as well?
Yeah, in Columbus, PropWire, I get a email about every other day of a new foreclosure. I've got a list of 138 foreclosures just in Columbus alone.
Okay.
Foreclosures are ticking up. And the reason why is last Wednesday, was it? The Federal Reserve bumped up the interest rate again. So now mortgages
And it's going up again in September.
Mortgages are going to go up over 8%.
8.5.
The people going out and getting mortgages are buying the brand new houses because the builders are pricing brand spanking new, nobody ever lived in before houses at what pre-owned homes are selling it.
Yeah.
So if you're going to buy something that's 20 years old or something that's brand new for the same money, what are you going to buy?
Yeah.
Well,
and
now
September is going up again, though, by the way, just FYI.
Right. But what I'm saying is now, if you've got a time problem, foreclosure, the market is not going to fix your mistakes. Everybody's and the realtors understand, realtors like, oh yeah, this house is needs work, but I'm going to put it on the market. And for the last 5 years, they put it on the market and they got 5 offers, 6 offers in 12, 2 hours. And they're getting people to compete. Those days are over. The phone stopped ringing last November. Are there buyers in the marketplace? Yeah, but those buyers are only buying perfect houses. I get my realtors tell me, our buyers walk in, the wife looks at the bathroom, she looks at the kitchen, they walk out of the house.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if
How
you got a house that's in original condition, needs work, or you got some sort of time pressure, the market is not fixing those problems anymore.
How are you using Privy or PropWire to get these foreclosures?
Easy. You just go in, put in the city, and hit the foreclosure button.
And then you're skip tracing them from there?
Yep. 10 cents. 10 cents a skip trace.
Okay.
Oh yeah, PropWire is awesome.
Do you have to scrub it too?
Yeah,
Scrub lists?
yeah,
Yeah,
Who do
they'll
you
do that. PropWire does that for you. They
Yeah.
do everything.
yeah.
But
And you're right, Farrah. I did start getting emails now that I've had it for a month where they're trying to sell me on their
paid one,
all their services that they offer.
yeah,
It's a good model. I get it. I don't need it, but that just means right now.
yeah.
But
That's
I've got my Chicago deal. I got a $17,000 assignment fee coming in. If I can ever get that damn thing to close, I'm gonna hire myself a dispo person.
Okay. So yeah, I mean it's a good site though. I mean, and they'll let you use it for free forever.
Yeah. And like I
As
said,
long
I
as
use
you
all three.
ignore their emails.
I open up 3 tabs. I've got Privy, I've got PropWire, and I've got Zillow. And if I
Okay.
need it, then I go to Redfin or Realtor.
Now,
Realtor.com.
do you set it up as send me emails? Because I don't get emails from them on any foreclosure listing. So did you set that up in PropWire?
No.
Okay.
I know what you're going to say to me. Please make me a video.
Okay. No, I'll figure it out.
Oh, if I could just get like another 2 weeks in my week, that'd be awesome.
Okay, no problem. So
I swear to God, one of these days I'm going to sit down on a Saturday and just burn through like 5 or 10 PropWire videos.
okay.
The
So,
funny thing is, I think Jerry Norton made that because he was pissed off at either a stream or something like that, and so he put it out for free, is what I heard. And he's making a boatload of money. He had something going on in Montana, you guys know that, and he lives in South America, is what I heard, Belize or something like that.
no, this belongs to Max Maxwell. It's a Max Maxwell product because he sells his Deal Pros, Dial Pros, which is their VA thing, and they have an acquisition team that they sell you. So he sells all these products with it. So that's why he gives this for free, because that's where he makes his money from.
I totally get it.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I might, my next assignment fee that comes in, I might take $1,000 and throw it at it and just see what happens.
Yeah.
So it isn't Jerry Norton. It is Max Maxwell then.
Yeah, it is Max Maxwell. And I mean, it's good. His acquisition team will do everything. They'll assign you a VA. And if you don't have enough calls to make, she'll do your data entry. She'll do all your other administrative work that you need done. That VA is going to be assigned to you for either 25 hours, which is part-time, or 45 hours, which is full-time. And it's $6 an hour.
And isn't that person from Egypt with a perfect English accent?
Yes.
I mean, like English, not our.
I've spoken to all of their VAs, and you cannot tell them that. And so I asked one of them, I'm like, Hussein, how come you speak so perfect English? He says, well, I studied in America and then I came back to Egypt and now I'm doing this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. As opposed to the Philippines where,
Yeah.
not only do they not have good American English, but the work ethic in the Philippines is not where it is here.
And the grasping power is very much lower. So it's harder to you have to, when I had I was dealing with a Philippine VA, I had to explain one thing to her 3 times.
Yeah. So I think they're good for data entry jobs, but I don't think they're good for telemarketing jobs.
Yeah. And Maxwell has both. He has a cold calling side and a acquisitions team. So you can get your VA, or you can just have them do cold calling for you and send you hot leads, or they will put it completely in contract by negotiating the price. They do the ARV, they do everything, and they give you the contract, and then you dispo it off. So they're like your dedicated acquisitions team.
Yeah.
I have a
And like I
question.
said, For $1,000, that's a pretty good, that's a good, that's a good test, I'd say.
I spoke to 3 people and one of them was their reference, 2 others I found. And they all said, we got deals from them. They closed, their acquisitions team is good. They close at the right numbers and you get good deals out of it.
I have a question for Joe and for you, Mike. I'm running into a lot of people that I know that have money, a lot of credit, a lot of stocks. How do I get them to get into Gator lending?
Explain it to them.
I have, but I need to go farther than that.
What do you mean farther than explaining it? What do you mean?
Well, they need, you know how people are. They gotta have proof in the pudding. These people, oh, no.
Well, if I was you, I'd put them on the phone with Carol.
Okay.
She's done deals.
Okay.
Ooh,
Carol Watson. She's not on anymore, but she's been on. But Carol is looking to do a real estate deal because she's done 3 Gator deals.
what is a Gator deal?
All right, so let's say that you got a property under contract and you need $1,000 EMD. You go to a Gator, and the Gator will fund your EMD for $1,000, and when you close the deal out of your assignment fee, you give them $1,000 plus another $1,000 back.
Oh, okay.
Called flipping money.
Yeah, and the thing that's different is you're not actually lending it at an interest rate. You're just taking a chunk of the deal, i.e., a Gator chomp.
Well, I remember, and I don't know if this is still going on. PACE only opens it up once a quarter or once in a blue moon per year to get in there, and I don't know if that's still the case, because
It is.
Okay.
But I say to you, why do you need to pay PACE's entry fee?
I don't. I just need to know that you and Joe can show me the way, show me the force. Obi-Wans.
Or just go out and hire an attorney to put the documentation together like PACE did.
I don't know where I would begin with what you need to say.
It's under A in the telephone book for attorney.
No, I mean, I don't know what wording you would want on there that makes it ironclad.
That's why you hire an attorney.
What kind of attorney would it be though? Like contract attorneys?
Yep. Just here's a trick I learned 20 years ago. And I'm old enough that we used to use the Yellow Pages. I would go to the Yellow Pages and I would tear out a page out of the Yellow Pages that actually, let me give an example. All right. So I had a property I had rented out. I hired an attorney who said that he could do evictions for me, no problem. In Volusia County, in the state of Florida, from the time you start the eviction, it takes 18 days if you follow the rules step by step. This attorney did not do that. So they hired some free attorney, public defender or whatever, and she got it kicked into foreclosure court. Would have taken me a year to get these people out. I fired that attorney, took a page out of the Yellow Pages of all the attorneys that advertised that they were real estate attorneys. I called all of them. There was like 15 of them. I got to like 10 of them, and the first 10 said, okay, fine, we can handle it. Send us your file with a check for $1,500. I'm like, hang on. Don't you want to look at it? Don't you want to tell me what you can do? Nope, that's not how it works. That's not the way we do it. Just send us the file and attach a $1,500 check to it. By the 10th one that told me the exact same thing, I said, I don't go to Walmart, pay, and then go shopping. So then I finally got to the last guy who's like, all right, tell me about the deal. And he said, bring it in. I'll take a look at it, and then I'll tell you what I can do. I'm like, all right. So I drive down. I show the guy. He's like, motion 1, 2, 3. I get him tossed out in 5 minutes. He said, write me a check for $750. I said, $750? I said, hang on a second. I went to like 14 other real estate attorneys before I talked to you, and they all want to charge me $1,500 without looking at the file. He said, this is how it works. They take the check from you, deposit it in their account, write me a check for $750, attach it to your file, and carry it over to me. I handle it. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He says, I'm the only real estate litigation attorney in Daytona, in Volusia County. They all send the files to me. And I said, it's exactly half of what they were charging. Like, yeah, that's how it works. I said, how's that legal? And he looked at me and goes, who do you think makes the laws? All your representatives in your state capitals are attorneys. I'm like, okay, that's how it works. So what I'm suggesting is get on Google or whatever and look for financial attorneys, look for corporate attorneys, look for, securities attorneys. And then just start calling attorneys and telling them the project that you want. But I would recommend you call 5 or 6 or 7 of them, because when you're dealing with any professional, one of the things I've learned to ask is, other than you, who's the best, once you figure out what you're looking for, like a financial attorney, call them up and say, listen, other than you, who's the best financial attorney in town? And of course, they're going to spend the next 8 or 9 minutes telling you how great they are, but then they'll give you a number. And after you call 5 to 10 attorneys, the same name will come up over and over and over again. That's the best guy in town.
Sounds about right.
I'm just telling you, man, people are the same everywhere, but that's what you don't need to go, spend $3,000 and buy Pace's thing and then his next new thing and his next new thing and his next new thing. Just go hire your own attorney and you probably get it done for like $1,000.
Well, because he'll also do that marketing thing, and then he'll tell you what a dumbass you are, and you feel kind of weird and stupid at the same time.
Yeah,
when
so
you
go
when you talk to him.
Go
why
hire
do
your
You
wanna
know how it
pay-
is, Joe. You know how it is, Joe. I know you know how it is, because that's how he does it. He does that. He makes you feel real small and stupid when you're talking to him.
So
But
go
why do you
hire.
want to deal with that?
Hmm?
Why do you want to deal with that?
I look past everything and I try to get to the education part. I look past the nuances when, he calls me out in front of 100 people. And he's done that on wholesale hotline in person.
But hang on a
Um,
second. Hang on a second.
That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is I'm looking for the education. I'm a nerd. So I'm a nerd. I'm
Dennis,
sorry. I'm a nerd.
Dennis, if you got people, just go hire your own attorney.
Okay.
That's all
Yeah.
Pace did is went out and hired. He actually said it when he was selling Gator. I went out and paid $3,000 for my contract. By the way, it costs $3,000 to become a Gator. You're buying my contracts. Well, shit, why don't I just go buy my own contracts? Oh, by the
And
way,
then
I
you
can
sell it for 2,000, then you undercut it and sell it to him for $1,500 to people and say, now who's smarter than you?
I mean,
Now you make him feel small and idiotic for giving out the price.
I wouldn't
Well,
do that.
you
I'd probably
can-
give it away for free.
you can do that when your bank account's as big as his.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I'm not that type of person. I would give it for free. That's just how I am, though. I help homeless people out daily.
Speaking of that, remember when I told you, I said, I thought it was odd when I saw the video where Grant Cardone, billionaire, $4.5 billion worth of real estate, and had no idea what subject to was. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And then I watched a video by Grant Cardone last week where he's schooling somebody on how to do seller financing for businesses. So you're trying to get me to believe he doesn't know how to do seller financing on single family homes, but he does on $95 million apartment complexes.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Okay. My eyes are malfunctioning.
Yeah,
It's everybody
that's just them
everybody
trying
helping
to-
everybody.
That's just them trying to say, hey, look, I was stupid and I did it and you can do it. Give me your money. I'll show you how.
But what I'm saying is, I understand that, and but you guys know more than enough. Just go out and get your own attorney to write your own paperwork.
Yeah, exactly.
Grant Cardone is part of 10X, which Pace and Jamil are part of 10X. And now Grant Cardone is going in further and got a biologist and is getting supplements and asking $500 to go get your blood drawn to do a blood panel. And they are part of that too.
What is 10X?
10X, that's his brand. He's 10Xing. He's making everything tenfold.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And he's very, I took one of his, like, I did one of his videos, and all he does on it is sell, sell, sell. He doesn't, you don't learn anything when you go on his videos.
Grant is a car salesman, people. Grant started selling cars. He got really good at selling cars, and then he started teaching other car salesmen, and other dealerships would hire him to train him how to sell cars. And then he realized he had a job, and then he started to realize with all the money he was making, he had to put it somewhere, and that's when he got into real estate. And now he's a sales guru, he's a real estate guru, and when you've got that kind of money, you got to keep the velocity going. And there's no money in healthy people. So let's market to the unhealthy people. And trust me, there's a lot of those.
Yeah, there are.
They're marketers. They're marketers. I mean,
At the end of the day, yeah.
they're marketers.
But what I'm saying is you don't need to pay that money and to buy the next greatest shiny thing. Just go out and get your own attorney. Have them write up the paperwork.
Did you know that the phone book people who sell phone book for Yellow Pages were the best sellers back in the 2000s and the 90s? And guess who is part of being a former phone book seller selling ads? Astro Flipping himself.
Jamil?
Back in the
Yes.
day, when I got out of college and I took the job working at the newspaper selling print advertising, the telephone book people came around once a year, and they were such high pressure, they never worked the same territory twice. They had such bad reputations of pressuring people into long 12-month deals that they didn't want, that they never saw the same, and my clients never saw the same salesperson twice.
It's called high pressure selling. They
Same thing
want
with-
you there. They
Same
pay
thing
you a
with
lot of money.
Same thing with car sales.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you something about the Gator, just going back to that a little bit, right? I also, like Dennis said, I have access to, I'm originally from Brazil, so I've been in communication with people there. And if you know anything that's happening in South America, they want to bring their money and secure it in dollars, right? Because they're afraid of what's going to happen to,
Brazil going
to the
socialist.
economy there. Yeah. And so they're, looking for ways that they can secure them. So the Gator lending, I guess when you're a private money lender, right, you're on first position in the mortgage, then they're much more secure, right? But for a Gator lender, how are they securing their money, really, right? Because are they in first position? Not really.
No,
right?
they're not. Gators are not lenders. Gators are doing a JV deal to get a chunk of the assignment fee.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if the deal doesn't happen,
Then nobody gets anything.
so because so it's secure 100% then, I guess.
Yeah. And the money, a Gator doesn't send the money to the wholesaler. The Gator only sends money directly to the title company.
Title company, yes.
But here's my question. A lot of the EMD is non-refundable.
Yeah.
We don't fund those.
You don't fund those, okay.
Nope. I don't fund non-refundable. I need a 3-day, the 3 days to get the funds in there, wire them in there. And there's a bunch of other stuff, contracts, and there's an understanding to all of this stuff. And Mike is right. You can go to any attorney.
Yeah.
But in the end, I wouldn't, with my age, at my age, and being involved in the stuff that I've been involved in, I don't want to reinvent the wheel,
Yeah.
So it is a challenge. This is something all new. This is a whole new way to generate money. And so as long as you have that understanding, you're going to do great in it.
And you got to give the man credit for coming up with the idea. I will give him all the credit in the world for coming up with the idea.
Yeah, because he says this is not anything new. This is something that Mike, you ran into people in the last 20 years that's just how they made their side money. So
Yeah.
Mike knows guys dating back 20 years that are experts at doing this.
The
It's
guy that originated this, I've actually got his course and I forgot what his name is, but I've actually got the course of the guy that actually originated the whole Gator funding private money lending thing. I'll dig it up for next time. I've got his DVD course.
Okay, that would
And
be
as far
awesome.
as
Of course,
as far
I can't play it because I don't own a DVD player.
my
Get a PlayStation.
the way that private money lenders secure their deals, of course, like it says, everything goes through title,
Mhm.
but you need to have the right contracts in place.
Well, with a private money lender, generally they're going to be in second place. That's why they're offering, they get a higher interest rate because it's a higher risk.
Right. So private money, but as long as the, for example, I know a private money lender right now only does first position. If you go out and get a second position on that loan, you get another loan on it, then the deal's off and they pull their money. So a sneaky way people doing this stuff is that you combine companies and they all do it in the first position. So you get everybody in there, you get your gap funding, you get your Gator, all that stuff into one company. And then you go to a private money lender and he'll be the one. And then when the title company distributes all the cash, it's already set in place who's going to get what and how much. So there's ways of doing that.
And you're going to put an investment property in an LLC anyway.
Exactly. It must be in an LLC.
Yeah.
And
Say that again. Say that again. I'm sorry, I missed it.
You're any property you're going to buy and hold, you're going to put into an LLC anyway. So what you can do is you can put all these, when you close, you just make sure that the LLC encompasses all the financing into one loan, and then the title company knows where to distribute the funds from that one loan. So you don't end up with multiple loans on the property.
But where, so I'm not sure I understood what he said. So if he said, if the private money lender will be in first position and the Gator, or whoever it is, all these people need to be under one LLC. Is that what you're saying?
The LLC will fund one private money loan, but all the people that, like, the person that's going to fund your EMD, the person that's going to fund your rehab, the person that's going to fund your carrying costs for 3 months. Instead of having 3 different loans, you now put it under one loan, except the title company knows that at settlement, all these other people get paid. And the borrower is the LLC.
And the borrower is the LLC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. First position. Only position.
And yeah, I mean, their only position. Yeah.
Yep.
I would like to talk to you more. What's his name?
Joe.
Joe.
Okay.
And that's why you want to go now, because we're almost done, is save the chat at the bottom so everybody's got everybody's contact information.
How do you save the chat?
See the 3 buttons at the bottom next to the smiley face? In the chat?
Yep.
Click those, click the hamburger there. And see where the first option is save chat? Click that.
You can't do it on your phone.
Yeah, obviously. I still figured that out right now. Okay. All right.
And you can't do it while you're driving down the road.
Yeah. Hey, Alexis, I'll send you the chat.
There you go. Send it to Dennis too, would you, Joe?
Okay, I'll send it to both of you. I have both of you. I have everyone's email.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
It's been a good one again,
you.
man. This is like really,
Thank you
really
so
good.
much for, sorry, go ahead.
This has just been really, really good. I mean, it's so informative. I mean, you guys don't realize when I go at the wholesale hotline and I ask the questions, I gotta go get a haircut. That's what I get. You don't get anything, even directly. So it's not even that you're on the phone. This guy, Mike, is like, he's giving you like gobs and gobs of information, and he's not being a jerk about it. It is so awesome.
Yeah, and even on Jamil's training, there's so many questions with so many people that you'll have to be on there for like 4 hours, 5 hours before your turn can come. And I don't have that kind of time, so.
Yeah, I'll say one thing, Michael. I'll send you a note separately, but as I'm exploring new markets, I wanna tag team with you. And I know like the little bit of time that you were here, not little, like almost, 2 hours.
Yep.
And you're saying you're being honest, right? So at the end of the day, you're 20 years in this business, and you know how to talk to people well, right? And you also know how to talk to the agents in the proper way, that you're not, scaring them or lying to them, right? So all of those things, as a, relatively new person, you wanna, learn and take it from it. So I want to talk to you about certain markets that I think I should tackle. And then definitely once I get anything under contract, you're my guy. And, I make money, you make money, everybody's happy.
That's the name. That's what this whole thing is about.
Yes.
Yeah. The thing about it is, and I was telling this to my girlfriend about what I've been doing here, is it's really hard to buy 20 years of experience.
Yeah.
You
And
can
you
buy
can-
all the courses and go to all seminars, but you can't buy experience.
No.
Yeah.
So I love this business. I get as much out of this as you guys do. I just love being able to share what I've learned and paid for over the years.
Yeah. No, I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
So what I will do is I will tell you what I used to tell the salespeople that I used to manage: go out, screw it up, and I'll fix it.
Would you, so my question, so let's say, because I have not done a creative deal before, right? I'm new to sub 2. So, but let's say it's a cash offer, whatever it is, right? And you're trying to, pitch cash, and then they don't take it, it goes the route of to go creative. I don't know how to run their numbers creatively. I don't know how to do any of that yet.
Joe is semi-creative deals. Alexis is semi-creative deals.
Okay.
I don't know if Sylvan has, but I mean, both Joe and with Alexis, I actually wrote up the contracts and sent it to those guys to present.
Yeah,
I
because
gave
what I
them my
would say,
contract.
because I know we have to look at something that it can be like it's going to be a rental, right? It's got to be a rental or some sort of Airbnb or something, right?
If I'm going to keep, hold on a second. If I'm going to keep it, but just putting together a subject to deal, I know that, I know Pace has said he only buys deals from his students. I'm not one of his students, but we can put it in there in the sub 2 group, and there's a ton of people looking for deals that are subject to. Here's the reason why. If you go out and you get 5 rental properties and you go out and get 5 mortgages, that 6th deal you will not be able to get a mortgage because you've got 5 of them in your own name. So your business is a cap. Just because the banks are you're too big a risk. Now, that being said, you do 10 subject to properties, none of them are in your name. They don't show up and don't affect your credit whatsoever. You can do 500 subject to deals.
And so, have you run into the, what they call it, the clause, what do they call it?
Due on sale clause
is
not a due on sale law. As a matter of fact, I was having a conversation what's today? Monday? Friday, with a mortgage broker, and we were discussing the due on sale clause. And he said,
I heard someone from the South Florida team, and he said, once you close and then the title company, right, kind of makes the what is it called? Transfer the deed. That's where bank gets notified, right? And then the bank's like, wait a second.
No,
wait a second. There's
you're giving. All right, first off, there's no intelligent life at banks.
What's that?
There's no intelligent life at banks.
Okay.
These are people with 9-to-5 jobs that are in cubicles, they're underpaid, and they're way overworked.
Right.
I had a mortgage broker. We had this conversation because I was I'm actually going to interview him about DSRC loans.
Loans, yes.
Yeah. But he was saying the employees at the banks are so overwhelmed with work, they can't even underwrite the loans they've got to process, much less somebody comes along and like, hold a second, we've got a different name, somebody else is paying on this mortgage. Can you imagine the person sitting in a cubicle going, hang on, I got to take this to my boss. He walks into his boss's office and goes, I think we should call this loan due. And the manager goes, It's a performing asset. They've never been late. Why would we
Oh.
call this due?
Okay,
Banks don't want to own houses. Banks want to get paid to lend money.
Yep.
It costs them money to own houses. So
Yes.
why would they call a mortgage due if it's a performing asset? Now,
I-
if it gets behind, it's a whole different ballgame.
right,
But if it's a performing asset, they're never going to call it due.
right.
And
Okay.
people think that's the due on sale law. It is not a law, it's a clause.
Okay,
Yeah, one of the things that, so Pace talks to a guy named Scott, how he's an attorney here in DFW. He's had a escrow company for 35 years, same one. In those 35 years, he's had 2 due on sale clause in 35 years. Out of those 2, do you know how many they had to foreclose on or they took back? None.
wow.
35 years, never happened. Mike is right. Banks are so, as long as it's performing, banks don't care.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
Just remember, and this is something I learned from Ron LeGrand, unless somebody's making 5 times as much money as you, they are not qualified to give you advice. And when I worked at the newspaper selling advertising by the way, I'm 57 years old. Back in the olden days, in the 1900s, people used to read newspapers. And in the newspaper, we used to have somebody that wrote up a financial article every day. And my business owners, because I was in advertising sales, would ask me, what do you think about this article? And I used to say to them, what I would do before reading that article is I would drive down to the newspaper and find out what kind of car the person that writes that article is driving. If it ain't $100,000 Mercedes, probably wouldn't read that
Not
article.
listening.
By the way, I knew who wrote that article and it was not a Mercedes.
Oh, gosh.
But what I've learned from very wealthy people is if a person doesn't make 5 times, I've heard Pace say this within the last 2 weeks. I only take advice from people who make more money than I do, and I make a lot of money. And I'm not me, him.
Yeah.
Like Grant Cardone, he's got $4.5 billion in real estate that he manages under, Cardone Capital.
Yeah.
He sits with people that have $500 million in one checking account. You got to take advice from the people that are your level or above, because the people that are not at your level cannot give you advice to get to the next level.
100%.
Okay.
And by the way, in a lot of these chats, when I see people asking, I did this 2 weeks ago. Somebody was like, "Hey, I got this Airbnb or rental or quiet or something like, it's about a 6% cap rate. Is that good?" And like 5 people answer like good, bad, not good, needs this, needs that. It was like 1-word answers. And I actually wrote, like, if you don't know what you're talking about, 1-word answers doesn't help anybody. I mean, if you know what you're talking about, write a paragraph and tell them exactly why that's good or why it's not good. Give me reasons how to fix it, whatever. But 1-word answers, you're not qualified to answer.
The problem is, like, people are not, they're like, oh, am I gonna give them the full answer? What am I gonna get back? Right? Kind of thing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that's,
I mean, I understand people have good hearts and everything, but giving bad information is more information than not giving any information at all.
yeah.
Yes.
Especially when you're talking about, spending $100,000, $200,000 on a performing asset.
Yeah.
So in other words, qualify the resource.
Yeah. No, you're right. This person was not, is not at the level that I should be hearing. I agree.
And it also helps when you can hold up a check like that one.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
Why I keep that there. How many people have cashed a 6-figure check?
Not yet.
That's the correct answer. Not yet.
So, no, it's true. I'll connect with you afterwards too. I promise I won't bug you too much, Michael.
Oh, feel free to bug me. If I don't answer, it's because I can't.
Yeah, no, I
Sylvan
appreciate
was
it.
trying to get a hold of me today and I just got absolutely swamped. I couldn't talk.
No, I wouldn't call. I would just probably just text and you know, and then if we need
That's-
to hop on the call, we will.
That's it. Everybody on here knows that's the best way to do it. Send me a text.
Yeah.
I tell my title company to send me a text, but they always want to call me.
I know, right? Yeah.
So does anybody have anything else?
Okay.
Nope.
No, just don't forget to send me those properties in Melbourne.
Oh, that's not you. Where's it? Yep, I have a note here.
Okay.
And these are big. These are like over 200 units.
Yep, that's what they're looking for. That's what you said.
Okay. And by the way, our finder's fee is going to be north of
Hey,
six figures. These are like 75
I
million.
like that. I like this.
These are like $75 million deals. These are big.
Okay, I like the sound of.
And by the way,
Okay,
by the
let
way,
me, you know,
when it
we'll talk
comes to
about it
closing apartment buildings,
after.
when it comes to closing apartment buildings, it's the same attorneys, it's the same paperwork, just bigger numbers.
Yeah.
Due
So,
diligence is more, but
I like the
actually at the
sound of
closing
that. So
table, it's the same paperwork.
Yeah.
I generally show up in a suit and tie.
Okay. So I.
Nice.
Yeah, single family houses, it's shorts and t-shirts, but you know, multi-million-dollar apartment buildings, it's suit and tie.
So no flip-flops
Okay.
at that meeting then, huh?
No flip top of that. Maybe if I was Cardone, but no.
No flip-flops.
Yeah, I don't have FU money yet. But yeah, fair. I'll get them to you ASAP.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And have you ever done a multifamily deal?
I haven't done even one deal.
Okay. There's a whole
So
lot
we
of work
will have to work
involved.
on this one together.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was driving at. There's a whole lot of work involved. But if you can put me on a three-way with your buyer, then you know we can work as a team on this thing.
Okay, so I'll talk to Charlotte and you know, because she has the buyer.
Okay. And
She has the end buyer.
and
He's
because
the
I'm
realtor,
here, because
and
I'm
he's
here
her-
in Florida, because
and
I'm here
her
in
law.
Florida, I can go to Jacksonville and I can go to Melbourne and be the boots on the ground to do the walk around, take the pictures and all that stuff. There's a whole buyer's package.
Okay,
I'd like to actually
perfect.
walk around and look at the stuff they didn't actually take pictures of.
Okay, so send me the information. I'll talk to Charlotte and then I'll get you on the call. We'll set up a time and we can get on a three-way call.
Perfect. And by the way, these are long projects. These are like 6-month projects.
Okay, sounds
Cool.
good.
All right. All right, guys. Great meeting. We'll see you next Monday.
Okay,